What's up, everybody? This is Ed. We're back with another video, another episode of Everyone Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. Today is 4th of July, and let's celebrate independence of black men, Black Male Agency. But obviously, it is also the the celebration of the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America. Yeah. It's interesting. Why did America celebrate? We all learned in school that America celebrated or basically declared independence from the British. For those of y'all don't know, yeah, I'm here. I'm just doing a little thing with my panels. See some real cool stuff here. I told y'all I'm working on some different shit. I got some shit in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. But the Declaration of Independence was because they were. It wasn't that they were being taxed. It was that they were being taxed without representation, and he had a problem with that. That's really what it was. They had a problem with being taxed without being properly represented, and so they basically said, "Fuck that! I'm declaring independence." They had no problem with being taxed if they would be represented in the House of Commons with the United Kingdom as a recognized colony. And they basically tried to say, you're going to do what the fuck we tell you to. Doesn't that sound familiar? That sounds very familiar to what black men find themselves in the black community, where we're expected to basically do traditional man shit without being represent, without us having the controls or the influence that goes along with that. Shout out to Calvin Rogers, the $5 super chat. Good afternoon to the chat room. Salute. Good afternoon to you, Edward Anderson. Salute. Yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna be. I really don't know how long it's gonna be. What's up, Marty? But I really don't want this to be no 2 hours. I want this to really go no further than 1 hour, to be honest with you. What I want to do too, by the way, is I want to get I don't know how to do it live yet, so I have to look, but I want to get one of those. If I decide to do it this way, I want to get one of those, the audio visualizer. So if people play it, they know I'm talking. But this is just some stuff that I've been working on. You know, ideally when I do this right here, what I want is not this, but I want to have a whole bunch of like social media and stuff like that around here. So it's a couple of good things that I'm working on. So give y'all a little sneak preview with that. Shout out to Ramil. I see Ramil is live. I really want Ramil to speak on that situation with those the father getting killed because of those two sisters that are big on TikTok. O'Shea spoke on that. That's something that's right within Ramil's wellhouse. Shout out to Fantastic. I see he's live as well, talking, I think, Little Big Nate. But I want to get this off my chest. So, the title of this video, as you all see, has more to do with Sha'carri, the Sha'carri situation. And there's a guy by the name of Carcino that I've been following for a little bit now. They had him on a straight shadow ban list, but he's been growing recently since he benefited greatly from Kwame Brown, because he benefited greatly, but he was already working on getting off that shadow ban shit. He has a very good insight, and he brings receipts to a lot of shit he says. So if you're somebody, you want to get kind of the 411 on a lot of these things, he's kind of the long format of it, versus I would say Jada Black is like the short format. Plus another thing is his channel is kind of like the style of mine, very free flow, very vlog like, but at the same time he also has Patreons and stuff. So I haven't gone on his Patreon yet to see how he does that, but definitely shout out to him. Link is in the description below. The video that I talked about has Sha'carri Richardson, and Sha'carri and Michael Phelps are two completely different situations, and they are. And one of the points that Carcino makes is that, yes, I understand. I forget what the guy's name is. I gotta I know that post is going around. That okay? So let's keep this all the way 100. I understand that. I understand the point. Let me bring up Chris's point. I'll get back to that, but I'll let y'all marinate on that for a second. Sha'carri, first, I didn't want to completely speak on the Michael Phelps situation because I didn't want to talk and I didn't have all the facts straight. Now I do. Michael Phelps was punished. First of all, let's keep this 100. Michael Phelps. The reason why I say this is not a race thing, but a gender thing, is because Michael Phelps was punished. He lost a lot of sponsorships. By the way, Sha'carri has not lost sponsorships, even with them digging back into her tweets back in the day, which I've always said is bullshit. I've always said that's bullshit. And then you got to look at back in the day, she would have been like a minor. So I've always thought that's bullshit, So I'm not looking for her to be like punished outside what's already the consequences they're already there. And personally, I don't care, but the rules are the rules. But my point is, Michael Phelps was caught with a picture of a ball. This somebody else. He did not fail a test, and this is once he was already very established, and we already know he's white. So Michael Phelps was very much punished. He lost a lot of sponsorships, a lot of big sponsorships. I remember that, and then his ability to compete was fucked with too. And so this idea that race comes into it in this situation is not cool. Because if we're going to do the same shit they do, then at this point, it just doesn't matter. It's mob rule. And this is coming off of the heels of Bill Cosby. We already know black men will always suffer the most when it's mob rule. When the law doesn't matter, and it's whatever the fuck I say it is, because what the fuck I say it is. So you start bringing the social discourse into it, where the media has a lot more domain. That becomes a problem. That always will be a problem for us. Always. So when I see a lot of these dudes, like I get y'all people want to see her run. Okay, fine. That's cool. At the end of the day, she let you down. And she said that. Like, how is it that she's 21 years? I mean, she said, look, I did what I did and I got caught. Nobody's going out of their way to shame her. What people are doing is people are kind of, the back and forth really is about a lot of you all that want to play the she's young card. So if she understands that she's a college age, she's in college. Stop with the she's young bullshit. And that ain't even something you all throw across the board with black men. She's young. She's young. Y'all got dudes that are paying child support that are like 21, 22 years old off of bitches that are 10 years older than them because they got a baby out of the dude or a dude out of, sperm out of the dude. And y'all don't hear that she's young. And this is how you know that black people don't care about what's right. They just want to complain. And when she took, and honestly, there's a lot of dudes that are honestly taking a second look at her, not because of some of the comments she had about Lil Nas X, saying, you know what, she might not be that bad. And they're also seeing the fact that at least she took responsibility. See, this is why I told you all she was going to be fine with social media. I told you that. Money-wise, she's going to be okay. And by the way, she hasn't got her sponsorship. Nike said they're going to stick with her because Nike's making a longer-term investment, and they understand with women, shit like that's going to blow over. So you got dudes that they have this false idea of what protection is. You're not protecting women by teaching young girls that being defiant, you'll still get a pass. Because eventually people are not going to give you a pass. Also, these are global. I talked about this before, but these are global rules. These are not, this is bull. These rules were already established and they've already demonstrated they will enforce them. With the Michael Phelps, the Michael Phelps situation does not help Sha'carri. If anything, it basically cements what they did. And they can always use Michael Phelps as saying, look, y'all want to say his race. We did worse to Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps was more known, more established. There was more money involved. The Tokyo, the Olympics had more to lose by him not being there because he was definitely a draw. And they caught him with a picture that he didn't even take. For example, LeBron James got caught with a picture. He got caught with a video of him smoking weed with his girl. LeBron didn't suffer no consequences. I'm not saying he should have. But this is not a race thing. Not in this situation. Do you understand how much shit these people have to sign in order to even be in it, like to even do this shit? They know what time it is. This ain't the NCAA where somebody get caught up and they'll be like, okay, we need to bring money in, so we gonna let it go. This ain't no different than what the NCAA is shown propensity to do. Phelps was in a photo months after the OB Olympics had been exactly. But people are going around rewriting history. They're rewriting history, but more likely what they're doing is they're taking it. Shout out to $5 super chat, super duper. They're taking advantage of the fact that people are ignorant and are not gonna look. This is that mob shit, and I see dudes doing that too. And I get you can want her to run and be like, "Damn, that's fucked up." Just like you can be an LA Clippers fan and want your team to win, and then think what Patrick Beverly did was extremely egregious, pushing Chris Paul in the back. These like this is where you start to look at like I hate to bring up IQ, but this is because I don't bring IQ in so much the sense of capacity, but this is where y'all emotional age is showing and y'all inability to be an adult is showing. And this is where the Cardi B's and because Cardi B said she drugged up dudes when she was young. She got a pass. So y'all really expect women to get a pass, and a lot of dudes are seeing this as, well, this is what protected women is. This is not protected women. That's not what that is. You're not protecting her. You're not protecting black women's image either. People want to say, well, this is what being on code is. No. Technically, her image is not on code, but I let that go because she's an athlete. I let that go because she's an athlete. And athletes are kind of in a different situation. That's why they're not categorized in the same situation. So I let that go, even though Gabby Douglas got a lot more criticism from black women about getting out of the water, which tells me where your head's at. But nobody really wants to talk about that. But again, and plus people that are in track have told me there are people that look like that in track. It just they don't get to the Olympic level generally. But that it really isn't relevant for that. But black people have these insecurity things that they just gotta let go. They just gotta let it go. They just gotta let it go. So let's see, what was what's it called saying before? I do want to double back to that a little bit. The argument that not Michael Phelps. Exactly, Corey. And to be honest with you, I've had a job that I was involved with that when they hire initial people to get people in, they changed the policy and didn't drug test. And then you got to realize too that how are you drug testing people when a lot of people are working from home? So you got to know what, like, I'm not here to shame you. I've always said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you to be smart about how you do it. And Corey, like real talk, you could say, well, I would tell you, really, I would say you shouldn't do it. I mean, be smart. But the other part, if you're going to look, nigga, I'm going to do it. You heard me say I do it daily. Then I'm going to be like, dude, look at protect yourself by getting other streams. Look at into some other streams of income just in case something happens. Even if that's a situation where you're an Uber driver or something. Obviously, there's better streams of income. Be smart. If you want to do what you do, be smart. But he knows this because he's a guy. He already knows that ain't nobody gonna give a fuck if he did cry foul. But women believe they can do that. And really what you hear a lot of women doing is they're crying about this supposed privilege white women get. And I'm like, yo, yes, that is true. But that's not an equitable thing. They shouldn't be getting the passes. So anyway, Chris Tripp says, "What's up, Ed? Sha'carri gets suspended for marijuana, and Lori is allowed with taking drugs, so that the trans person can compete with." Okay, understand something. Number one, the question is, are the drugs a performance enhancing and therefore not allowed in the Olympics? Because they know what is and what isn't. That's number one. Number two, that's a policy thing. And that was addressed in the policy. That's why this is such a controversial topic. And technically, the Olympics says that marijuana can be seen as a performance-enhancing drug for certain sports. So it is what it is. I'm not saying it's right. I agree. And I agree, but not with that sentiment specifically, but I agree with the social aspect of it. which shows which says a lot. And I think that conversation needs to be had. But that's not going to be used as an excuse. That's a more political, social thing. Versus you're not gonna, because here's the thing, if they make exceptions for her, they gotta make exceptions for everybody. And they're not going to do that. Who's to say that other performance enhancing drugs, because this stuff was classified as this way before she came onto the scene. So this isn't some where they're making rules up as they go. I mean, most of us would be in agreement if they were doing that. They're not doing that. And so therefore, a lot of folks are like in their feelings and they're basically like, fuck you, I've said what I said and that's it. That's stupid. And I've seen a lot of people put up posts talking about, well, you can unfollow me if blase, 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 blah. And I'm like, you're not right. And again, I will unfollow you because you're not correct. Like, you want to stand on it just to stand on it, like you making a statement, but it's important for people to act like adults. And then, quite frankly, that's a complete asshole move to bring Michael Phelps into the situation. That's a complete asshole move. Because as Carcino said, they always do that to us. Michael Phelps has nothing to do with this situation, and Michael Phelps was properly punished. That's like saying Chad Wheeler shouldn't be punished. Look at what Ray Rice did. That's literally how fucking stupid that is. But again, and then you got T.I. saying dumb shit, and we all know, I mean, T.I. been in jail how many times? Like, you're not the dude to speak on this, sir. You're not. We know how these people are. By the way, shout out to them finally who making it happen so these kids, these college athletes can get paid. Shout out to whoever deserves the credit, both long term and short term, for that. That's a W. That's a W for black men, like a motherfucker. The W for college sports. But y'all want to like I just can't stand when women, like, I remember when Rebecca Lynn Pope said that chick that was average at best, she said she's a little girl. I'm like, bitch, what? She's a little girl. She's 36. What? Or she said she's a young girl. I'm like, what are you all talking about? And they really be meaning this shit. And it's like one of those things where you got to check them and be like, do you realize what the fuck just came out your mouth? Do you understand what just came out your mouth? And I'll give you another. Let me give you an example. And technically, I don't think this is race. This is really, I'm not going to say this is, but this is where it would be more of a race thing. So shout out to Jada Black. Jada Black did a video on Maria Taylor, and Rachel Nichols got caught on a hot mic, and apparently they were sitting on this for a long time. And Rachel Nichols said that basically Maria Taylor was a diversity hire. And although there may be some truth to that, the reality is you've only lasted as long as you've lasted is because you're a white woman. Like, straight up. If we really were gonna Rachel, and I don't have an issue with Rachel Nichols, but let's call this a buck. And Rachel Nichols is getting dragged. Rachel Nichols is 47 years old. Rachel Nichols she's on her way out. Let me see. Carrie Champion age. She's 46. They moved her. Sage Steele age. She's 48. So these women should be on there. A lot of these women should be on their way out. Spain age. Sarah Spain is only 40. Yeah, like a lot of these women are on their way out. Like a lot of y'all are on your, and so they already moved Carrie Champion, and Sage Steele, So I mean, honestly, y'all should be getting replaced by these newer women anyway. That should be coming up the pipeline, because technically dudes watch this shit. and dudes and women don't care about old women being seen, and dudes really want something to look at. That was the overall point. Now I don't really care, but now, and I don't think she deserved, like, she's getting less and less money because she don't deserve, she don't deserve no 5 million. She don't deserve no 5 million, especially when you understand that ESPN has to pay the NBA all that fucking money, and quite frankly, ESPN is not really done well when financially compared to how they used to be. But that's more of a quote unquote race thing. Because at the end of the day, say what you want to about Maria Taylor, and I don't have a personal issue with her. She's married to a black dude, so I'm not gonna hate on her. But I'm just saying I don't like Stephen A. Smith like that. But the truth is, Stephen A. Smith has been with that organization for a long time. And wow, I didn't know Maria Taylor was 6'2". Yeah, she's married to a black dude. So yeah, I'm gonna give her props. I want to see her get paid. But you ain't gonna get, but this is from a job perspective. You really think you deserve to get paid with Stephen A. Like you should, and this is another video that somebody could do on women in negotiation. They offered you $5 million at 34. What was the contract? The contract, like, how long was it? Because you could have got another one if you actually did. You're not bringing in $5 million worth of eyeballs to shit. And then on top of that, they gave her Rachel Nichols' spot, which even put her in a position to be able to do that. And that's what Rachel Nichols got mad about. And I'm not saying she ain't got a right to feel some type of way, but that bullshit about diversity, see, white women love diversity as long as they're benefiting from it. And that's one thing black women need to understand when black women are always kissing these women's asses. These women will turn on your ass. And trust me, a lot of people feel some type of way about Sage Steele, including black people. Because Sage Steele act like, and Carrie Champion too. At least I can see with Maria, she's with a black dude and she got married. So if anybody should be up in that bitch and getting some of that money talking to athletes, it should be Maria. So I don't have a problem with Maria. And I'm not even gonna hate on the fact if she would have took the 5 million, but this was a woman that was complaining about 5 million. There may be something to be behind the scenes, and this is where this is starting to come out. Nick Saban checked Maria Taylor on live TV. But there's a lot of this stuff is a lot more dynamic. All I know is, I ain't heard her say no goofy shit about black men like Jamila Hill. And she married to a black man. So, she check enough boxes until further otherwise. I give people the benefit of the doubt. Hold on. And it looked like, and she's 6'2", that means she played something. I'm sure she played basketball. So I'm not mad at that. Jamel Hill age. Jamel Hill is 45. Carrie Champion is 46. Now people would say, well, Skip Bayless is 69. Yeah. A lot of these people, it's time they need to fade out. She played oh yeah, she looked like a volleyball player. All right, appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm not hating on her, but I'm like, wow, you really blew. Who told you blew that up? And so it's not really about her being a black woman. That's just dumb. You're 34. You got time. There's other things you can get into. I mean, if you Pam Oliver, how old is Pam Oliver? She's 60. Hell yeah, she's 60. Like, these women are taking up spots. Ageism is a thing. And my thing is, people will say, oh, well, you hating on older female. No, fuck that shit. These are spots younger women are supposed to get. You see that in Hollywood. You see that everywhere. You got women men don't benefit from that. And like she's getting paid a hell of a lot more than she should. And young women need those spots. There's only finite spots. So young women should wait till they fucking hit the fucking wall to get on because these old bitches can't let go. And it's not just in the sports world, it's also in the those are spots for women that are like in their 30s. Those are not spots for women that are 60 and late 40s. It's not. They made their money. They should have had some investment somewhere. Yeah, Skip is gonna get the old white man treatment. And honestly, people do watch Skip. So Skip, here's my thing. I'm not saying people should just get replaced, just get replaced. But if you're not bringing value to the business, Skip can argue he brings value to the business. He can argue that because of what you said, NBA fan. So yeah, I mean, I just mentioned that so you understand how old it is. But Pam Oliver ain't bringing Pam Oliver. Man, this thing says she is 60. That she was born. She is 2 months older than my mother. My mother was born in 1961, and she just turned 60. So yeah, she was in her 50s. Well, see, this is the value of having somebody, Kwame Brown, that's in the yeah, he can make the argument because understand that you're on Fox, white people, white men got credit, got pedigree because he was a journalist. I don't agree with a lot of shit Skip says, but I can understand why people watch him, even if they don't agree. So you can make that argument, and trust me, these dudes ain't got no problem replacing men. That's what they use Me Too for, was to reset a lot of these dudes. They still got their money, but once their contracts fade out, it's over. Yeah, she did. Well, Carrie Champ, yeah, like again, you know, again, a lot of these women, again, what did BGS say? They want equality of outcomes. And I'm sorry, we live in a finite world. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. I'm not even hating on Pam Oliver, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying this to get these people fired. I'm saying this because women sometimes need to understand that like y'all should be looking at this. Like why like women should be the first ones like that's not okay for all these old bitches because other women that more identify with them and look like them can't have those spots. Because these, and you see that in Hollywood. All these women getting these roles and shit. They're finite spots because, but the game is blame the men, blame the men, blame the men, and they take y'all off the ball, and y'all people fall for that dumb shit. But going back, but another thing I wanted to talk about real quick because there was somebody that she was in my comment section, and this ain't no big deal. I mean, I want to basically speak on some of the things she was talking about. Shout out to my new subscribers too, by the way. This was one of my shorter videos, as far as this black woman taking L's. And again, this title was more to be clickbait, but more than anything, I mean, I said what I said, but I just wanted to go through. This was to talk about the Angelina Jolie thing in the weekend, and folks are kind of like, it's kind of like, okay, so I want to read some of the stuff she said. She said, I thought black successful men are supposed to date young, childless, feminine women. The Weeknd is supposedly dating a 46-year-old mother of 6. Angelina is not known for her femininity. Make this make sense. Okay, first of all, one thing that we need to start doing is we need to start applying shit the way the Weeknd ain't ADOS. The Weeknd is Canadian. Okay? Just like Drake. That's number one. Number two, being seen with somebody is supposedly dating. See, like what she was saying in that moment is she was playing the white girls get a pass card. And I know women want to lean on that. Women just want to believe that. But dudes ain't really obsessed with these white bitches like that. Just like how black men, I can point to many black men dating older black women. Then you see black men dating older white women. Let's call that a buck. And I said that in the comment. And then she responded saying, "You're saying all this now." Well, I'm saying all this now because my channel works like a soap opera, meaning I've said these things before. Now, that has nothing to do with her. That's not her fault. But at the end of the day, that was a short video, and you all know my videos are longer, so I could close loops like this. You're saying all this now, but your video uses this as an example of black women taking an L. Yes, black women do feel like they're taking L's. That's a fact. It's not, I don't have to prove it. They feel that way. Why is this your example when he is Canadian, as you said, and it's not a legit relationship? This was just exactly. It was an example. It was me throwing shit out there to have a conversation because that is something that is trending. That's it. This is not math. This is not geometry. Work doesn't have to be shown. You highlight the lowest common denominator and use that as a true overall representation of black women. Okay, so this is what the real issue is. That is not an L for black women. You should use better examples on your man-centered channel, respectfully. So, couple of things. One, yes, my channel has a quote-unquote man's point of view, but my point of view is facts. It's not basically, well, here's a woman's point of view, here's a man's point of view. A lot of this stuff is not gray area. A lot of stuff that this is, but a lot of stuff is it's right or it's wrong. And women will use their point of view as a mechanism to override logic and facts. Just like you see that in the Bill Cosby case with white women and some black women. As far as you highlight the lowest common denominator and use that as a true overall representation of black women. Nez. If I go to CDC Fast Stats, the CDC Fast Stats says that 55% of black women are overweight and 80% of black women are overweight and 55% are obese over the age of 21. That is not the lowest common denominator. That is a fact. So it is a fact to say black women are overweight. If I further predicate that evidence when I ask a woman on another panel that she didn't see, do you believe it's normal for a woman to weigh more than a man, given the fact that a man is, let's say, is 4 or 5 inches taller than her? She said yes. That's one black woman, but you hear that all the time. Let's cut the bullshit. That's one. Two, single motherhood. Again, I acknowledge it's going down. It's starting to taper off a little bit. It was at 73. It's now at like 68. We've also acknowledged that 85% of kids that are born in Colombia, 85% of women that have kids are single mothers. Facts. These are facts. These are not lowest common denominators. We're not even going to talk about how you can look at how black women were really hating on Gabby Douglas versus they want to be all in on Sha'carri. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence that's overwhelming, and there's a lot of actual factual statements that come out of. We got Kevin. She wants to talk about the high value shit, or she alludes to it. Kevin's show, you hear it out of their mouth, and it ain't just the lowest common denominator. A lot of women that call Kevin have degrees and make 6 figures. So no, ma'am. I don't highlight the lowest common denominator and make that an overall representation. You all, when I say you all, the ones that do, you all circle the wagons around black women that are the lowest common denominator, and you all don't separate yourselves from that. You all embrace it and then want to say that we're high. No, we're not. And this is why it always has to be about image, because the facts don't stand up. That's like saying, well, you highlight black men are in prison. Well, most black men are not in prison. Only 10% are. But I still say that there's more black men in prison in the United States of America than women in prison on the planet. Y'all say more of us are in prison and they have college degrees. That's not true either. It's factually not true. Because we're not looking to throw arrows. We're looking to be better. Versus women, a lot of women have this collective zeitgeist, meaning they either actively do it or they buy into it. They buy into the collective that does it, want to protect their look good even when they're losing. And then AMI cadet. And look, generally, I don't type, like, it's amazing I attracted all of these people with this black women are taking L's. You have women that they actively look for titles like this to comment on it. They actively look for it. And the reason why I don't do more content titles like this is because I'm not. And look, and to be honest with you, Nez is being cordial about it, and that's why I'm giving it the credibility to I'm giving it the credibility to respond. But and I appreciate that. But you got people that they look for channels just to say all this shit. Like, oh, I need to prove that black women. Yes, a lot of black women think it's an L because Sha'carri can't run. That in and of itself is an L. Yes. O'Shea did a video talking about a lot of black women are mad. If you go to Twitter, they are mad because they see the weekend dating a white bitch. They consider that an L. You complain about your L's. Yes. I'm not sitting here saying it like, oh, well, black women. I notice I didn't say black women hold this L or black women, I'm glad you're getting this L. I didn't say that. The title says black women taking L's, boy. That's all it means. It means that there's a lot of negative things. I did mention the Kamala Harris shit, which she stayed away from. That's it. It's not a big deal. Just like if you say black men are taking L's, boy, and then, and you point out some L's in the media that black men have taken. That's it. But we make this thing like, you need to prove this and you're hurting the image. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Sha'carri is hurting y'all image a lot more than what the fuck I'm doing. If we gonna keep it a real. But that's what a real issue was. And again, most people that listen to me long enough will tell you, women will tell you I am fair. And trust me, I am very critical on black men, and not just on this channel. Being Black Male Travels and them, they kind of got annoyed. I ain't gonna say upset. They got annoyed with me because I basically called a lot of stuff out, and I wasn't doing it to beat up on. They did the same thing that she's doing right here. They wanted to protect the look good. I don't give a fuck about the look good. I give a fuck about what's correct. And then AMI says these content creators are just walking contradictions. There's nothing I said that was a contradiction. And men can date whoever they want to date. Like this idea that, well, men are supposed to date feminine men. Men date who the fuck they want. Not like men commit to feminine women. But men will fuck a ratchet bitch in a heartbeat. So even what you're saying on that front is actually not correct, because men have different criteria for who they commit to versus who they date. Dating and fucking is irrelevant. It's Hollywood. But women, because they buy so much into black women in particular, buy so much into what goes on in Hollywood and on social media, they see this as wins and losses, which is why I made the title. Then she puts, you mentioned Sha'carri as it relates to black women's image. I agree with you. That is important. Well, that image is important. But she didn't agree. She didn't never say she agreed with me on the Sha'carri thing. That's one reason Kevin Samuels used his image. That's a reason, but a lot of it is he's 6'4", he looks the part. That's a reason, but that's not the only reason. But whatever. You mentioned in your video you wanted to revamp your channel. That doesn't mean I'm gonna revamp my channel in Kevin's image, because we're not the same person. You could learn from Kevin Samuels to focus on your image. I do what I want to do. I'm not here to grow. No, I'm not. No. See how she tried to flip that. Think twice about coming on camera looking the way you did. This is a way of dissing me. Fumbling the phone, beard needs shaving, chapped lips. Women are watching Kevin Samuels because his image. Your channel is growing. Is very never mind. Your channel growing is very, very never mind. Here's the thing, and this is where the bullshit starts. Nez, I don't give a fuck about what I look like. Because the first thing people like to say is cam up. I don't cam up for practical reasons. Because I'm not trying to look presentable for some random motherfuckers on YouTube. Fuck you niggas. Fuck you bitches. I don't need my intellect and what the fuck comes out of my mouth stands on its own. I'm not looking to fuck any bitch on the internet. And I don't give a fuck about what you niggas think about me camming up or not, because some of these dudes say that dumb shit too. There are plenty of people. Tommy Sotomayor is not the most presentable person. He has 700,000 subs. Presentation has its place. Not against that. But my channel is not not growing. Jason Black, you ain't never seen what the fuck he looks like. Professor Truth, you ain't never seen people like, because black people are so visual, because black people care more about what something looks like versus logic. And granted, she's trying to compete with talk on the logical side too, but I'm talking about in general. And when I say black people, I mean both black men and black women. This is a big reason why we are where we are. Facts are facts, irregardless of what the presentation looks like. 1 + 1 doesn't change because somebody looks. Now, how you feel about it may change, because that's where a lot of black people are. And I criticize black men on this as well, but it doesn't matter. This is why I don't tell women. I don't say women need to cam up, because your logic and faulty logic is all I need. Shout out to David Carroll, because David Carroll was talking about the the woman that won't be named situation about her being threatened. And I was going to do a video, and I still might, but I don't know, because I don't want to get attacked by the algorithm, talking about how, that woman, she's not Yamamoto. Yamamoto, which was the Admiral Yamamoto, responsible for Pearl Harbor, where they assassinated his ass. Notice how they didn't assassinate Hitler. You know why? Because they wanted Hitler to stay in there, because Hitler was incompetent. Hitler led to victory, and they knew that them generals were smarter than him, under him. So in order to make it so they could win the war easier, Yamamoto, they said, no, that motherfucker's got to go, because he knew what the fuck he was doing, because he was trained in West Point, and he showed his veracity as a war commander. So they had to take him off the fucking board. And when the opportunity came along, they did it. It's a difference. But so when she's sitting there talking to, like all that is slick dissing. It don't matter. And clearly you got to ask yourself, I have access to StreamYard. If you've seen a couple of my videos, you know this. So why do you think I didn't put StreamYard and I decided to do that? It's because the practicality. I know my iPhone doesn't work well with StreamYard all the time when it's on, if you must know, when it's on the internet, and I'm fumbling my phone, is because my phone gets fucking hot. If you must know. And as far as my lips being chapped, I'm out here running errands, not trying to talk to bitches. So I don't give I'm like white people in that way. When I'm going out and about, and I'm not out here looking just retarded, like a bonnet or some shit. But at the same time, I'm not here to fucking, I don't have that mentality that I always got to be ready to holler at a bitch. I just don't have that mentality. I just don't. You don't do that, man. I got to have this fresh white tea. I got to be crisp even when I go to the gas station. I give no fucks. I don't. And when I need my image to look a certain type of way, it will, and it does. As a marketer. But I'm not in this space. I'm in this space to put this shit out here, and it is out here. And to be honest with you, me not growing has nothing to do with how my channel highlights. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with me mistitling. So I purposely depressed the size of my channel, because people in my space are constantly getting fucking fucked with once they get to a certain level when they talk the way I talk. And I value my ability to speak freely versus me worrying about what I say and how I say it. So I keep this channel kind of small on purpose. Now, I don't expect her to know all of that, because she hasn't listened. That's fine. And that's why I'm explaining it now. And I'm also taking the time to explain it for everybody else. I just don't give a fuck like that. I just don't. What else she had to say? Yeah, but she was trying to talk in good faith, and that's cool. But I wanted to give that. Those are not great stats. And then when you look at stats like women that these women look up to, not her, but like Megan Thee Stallion, you find out Megan Thee Stallion is like under 150. You find out these women that are 6'5'9", they're like 151, like they're like Serena is 165, and we know she's got muscle. You know, anyway. CJ Banks said you saw the other chick, the other chick nobody knows what she looks like, telling black women to stop begging black men to love them. I mean, at the end of the day, black men, despite no matter what black women say, black men have you can say it's a low resource value, but there is a resource value to there is a resource value to black men, and if black men stop pursuing black women, then that there's an economic cost to that. Shout out to Freakonomics. There is an economic cost to that because that energy is going to be redirected somewhere else. They know that. They're not dumb. And that woman has also said in the past to tell them to stop begging for white men too, but she probably changed on that. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. You can say that all you want to, but y'all gonna be alone and by yourself, you know, and that's cool. Nobody cares. People are just saying it. Surveys have proven women never stop complaining. No, they don't. And that weight being bigger than men, facts. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, the way it came up is that I was starting to say, okay, do you think 200 pounds is obese? And she was kind of like going back and forth with it. And I was like, you know what? We're not even going to do that. I said, let me read. That's my fault. Let me rephrase the question. Do you believe that a woman should weigh more than a man? Do you believe that's normal? And she said, yes. And I appreciate her candor. I appreciate her candor because we can't get anywhere if these women are going to lie. So I appreciate black women's candor. I understand it comes from a place of not giving a fuck, but I appreciate her candor. And that pretty much told you what you need because see, if I would have framed it that way, it would be seen as I'm bashing black women because that can't be true because dudes won't accept that. And it's like, okay, well, you heard it from her. Now, that doesn't mean every black one, but this goes inside with the typical mindset you typically see. And a lot of folks is like, wow, oh my God, yes. That's what you're dealing with. You are not like, stop this. Oh, it's some but not all bullshit. Like, cause it's way deeper than that, and the urgency is there. Educated females intellectualize BS. Yeah, they do. Dardar, especially when we're only 6% of the population. That's the problem. That yeah. And when black men are 6% of the population, that means it doesn't take a lot of women to move that number. Eric says, right, but we gonna do the separate of the women from them. LOL. A herd of them into the proper classes and groups. Adam, yeah, they're bigger than 8%. Yeah, and that's not. I'm not bashing black women when I say that. Well, I'm saying that so you all understand this is a problem and you all have a mental problem as far as how you all perceive it. Make sure y'all hit up my Cash App. This ain't some shit that we're just making up to beat up black women. And if y'all gonna be like, well, y'all just gonna deal with it, then motherfuckers just gonna do what motherfuckers do. Because at the end of the day, at some point, biology is gonna kick in. Let me see. This is why men start the height, weight, dress size, attitude. Family women are not into. Yeah, and women get mad. Women get mad about that because what they really want to say is it doesn't matter. You need to deal. You need to take me as I am. They want to activate the take me as I am protocol. What's up, Roastmaster? Shout out to Roastmaster. Can't believe Kwame hit it first. Rachel goes a groupie. Huh. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Edward Anderson, to be fair, you are fair. Much love from England. I appreciate that. Oh, I know you were from England. Absolutely. Shout out to the English gang. Faulkner got a point. Protect Felicia Rashad. Well, yeah, and guess who? Guess who these went? And that's another argument nobody's making. Appreciate this the super chat from Roastmaster, the $12, much appreciated. Like Felicia Rashad has to apologize. Has to apologize for what? For basically standing up for a coworker. She's got to apologize for standing up for a black man. And she ain't even in like Hollywood like that no more. So that tells you how strong the pressure is. Well, now their stuff, their stuff is self-fulfilling prophecies. I'm not necessarily. It's not about like I said. It's not about not protecting somebody or protecting somebody. Sha'carri comes from the Love Dorsey school of thought, and I give her credit being 21 years old and taking accountability. But I don't know if she was made to do that or what. But at least that's how low the bar is. A 21-year-old has to show more accountability than women that are over 30 and 40 years old. Well, I mean, he's going to say that. I've cammed up. I don't need to cam up. And I think that's some immature shit. I really do. Next thing, people are going to be telling people how much money you make in pocket watching. Well, it doesn't matter. Do people don't care about that because what he did because it was Tariq. That's the crazy part. They don't care. Yeah, because people forget that the SS had many purposes, but the actual military of the Germans was not the same thing exactly. Because those were not necessarily Nazis. It was the SS that were vetted for that, which is why they were ingrained in the military in their own way. You get the details. But people don't think about that. So when when the woman that won't be named says that, oh, they trying to come after me. No, we're not. Because you're a walking example of everything wrong with black women. You're an example of the brokenness. You're an example of the hate and the anger that can't be let go. You're also the example of the type of motherfuckers you sleep with. You're complaining about the very guys you've slept with, which tells me that's the best you can do, at least at the time. So at the end of the day, you're everything in one package. You're everything in one package. So like moths to a flame, you actually attract people that have that mentality. Black men and black women alike. So you can't deny the problem. You can't say, oh, well, people aren't really out here. No, they are really saying this. And they're building pretty good channels off of it. But I mean, I don't care. I mean, as far as the tweets, at least she stand on it. Exactly. But that's what I said, Turbattle. I said black men don't have the ability to protect the Felicia Rashads because, and what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, people got a right to be mad at Bill Cosby. The same motherfuckers mad at Bill Cosby are the same motherfuckers that would listen to R. Kelly music. Stop it. Like, again, eventually you're gonna be made the choice. They mad about Carrie Hilson. That's another thing. They're also upset. And to be fair, Carrie Hilson said that they don't gotta be 8-0s, which black men don't got a problem with. And she's already dated 9-8-0s. She dated Serge Ibaka, which she probably should have stuck with. But Carrie Hilson is a classic. I can always do better until, oh shit, I'm 38. She's the classic. And the problem is, if a dude gets with her, it's like, okay, I get with you. We start having kids day one. We had 2 kids. You're 40. They're 12. You're 50. Why would I stay with you? That doesn't make sense. But these women don't think about that because their ego is tied to how dudes are approaching them. And this is unfortunate because Carrie Hilson has allowed her mouth to get her in trouble a couple of times. Her career got fucked up because she fucked with Beyonce. And how good she looked didn't mean shit to that beehive. That didn't mean jack shit. Does Carrie Hilson look better than Beyonce? Yes. Does that matter? No. In fact, ain't Carrie Hilson and Beyonce like the same age? That shit don't matter. And Carrie Hilson, you know, she writes, she does a lot of stuff. Yeah, they're the same. Like Beyonce's 1 year older than her. That shit don't mean shit. Exactly. They did fire Paul Pierce over that, and people talked about it, but ain't nobody get no rah rah about it. Paul Pierce took it on the chin. Paul Pierce took it on the chin. And you got to keep it all the way 100. They really were coming at Camille Cosby for a little bit because she wouldn't publicly throw him under the bus. She did. She did. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how attractive you are. If you're dating an NBA player, and Serge Ibaka is definitely one of the ones that on the higher tiers, at least from a contract standpoint. I'm sorry, you don't. None of you females look good enough that y'all can't be cheated on by a dude. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all, but see, that's ego. And a lot of these women, they can't be in relationships because their ego is too big. And even if a dude ain't cheating, they're gonna be like, oh, well, maybe he's not valuable enough. So then they start feeling like they better. As soon as a woman gets used to a man, they start believing they better than him. That's how what happened with Shawnee O'Neal. It don't matter how much money. They start wanting to compete. Or they're on some Jada Pinkett shit where they looking at somebody, they looking at somebody else that's not there. Like for real. And dudes don't gotta entertain that. A lot of dudes, a lot of what we talk about has nothing to do with the women. It's really about men understanding you don't have to entertain that. But dudes don't know any better because they were raised the way they were raised. Well, Camille Cosby comes from a different age, to be fair. Just like Denzel's wife, they come from different ages. Just like Magic Johnson's wife, they come from different ages. Or I don't want to be swallowed up by my husband. Then you don't want to be a wife. Cause that you don't want to be a wife. That's really what you need to say. But see, you won't say that because you understand that yeah, you don't want to be a wife. And a lot of folks don't want to be wives. The problem is not black men not proposing to black women. The problem is black women don't want to be married. And so even when people try to create this argument of, Kevin Samuels is trying to, trick black men. No, the truth is like black men, nobody's tricking nobody. The, so yeah, like don't even get me started on the L's of them them like not going to keep on um renewing the don't get me started on the female apocalypse because the retail apocalypse is happening. Don't get me started on automation. Don't get me started on these on OnlyFans because I didn't mention OnlyFans in that video. Don't get me started on all this bitching that women do on TikTok because they feel they on TikTok strike because they not getting the views they feel like they should be getting. Even though when I take my ass over there, I see plenty of women getting some really good shine on TikTok that otherwise wouldn't get none nowhere else. Oh yeah, Don Cheadle, boy. Don Cheadle's the GOAT. for that. Don Cheadle is the GOAT for that. And to be fair, Don Cheadle stuck with her. Like, the thing about it is, what's really the difference between him marrying her now and him marrying her back then, other than from a legal perspective, if she planned it on leaving, she'd have more clout? Nothing. He probably stuck with her, probably was with her, probably, you know. Well, yeah, it's some shit these women talk. Like, I could have brought up a lot of shit if we really want to get deep. I don't bring up everything I could. And really, I was kind of driving. I was spitballing. It was hot. My heat was fucked up. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. And Don Cheadle's a cool dude. And Don Cheadle, I've seen a lot. I've seen Don Cheadle led movies. I'm gonna watch the Armor Wars. Yeah, but Vernon, okay, so yes, I understand why they would be mad. But isn't that what TikTok is about? You can't patent a dance on social media. And it's not necessarily the TikTok. I'm not like I'm an expert in the situation, but TikTok, I'm sorry, there's more white people than black people. I'm sorry. And white people want to see white people. Sometimes white people don't want to see your ass. And so, yes, if they're stealing your dances, which, by the way, they've said Beyonce does, by the way, which none of these bitches care, but whatever. That's, I mean, you can't patent a dance. I mean, I'm sorry. And what you're upset about, what you think, and see, this is equity of outcomes that BGS was talking about. And then, by the way, you being on strike don't mean shit. Cause it ain't like somebody else ain't gonna do a dance. It ain't like TikTok stops moving. Why don't you do some real shit for a change rather than just dancing and shaking ass and twerking your way to fucking some subscribers? Exactly. And TikTok isn't gonna, that's not how TikTok is not gonna do that. Because at the end of the day, they're an advertising platform first and foremost, and they're in the state. Like, trust me, I'm gonna get heavy on TikTok, but I'm not, like, honestly. A lot of these chicks, they want to make money like those famous twins did. They just want to twerk their ass up to being able to pay for room and board. That's all they want to do. Well, NYC, you can say what you want to say, and I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong. Guess what? He offered, she said yes, and she stayed. That's a decision they made as grown ass people. Your opinion was not asked for, as far as they're concerned. So anyway, y'all, it's been great. I told y'all I was gonna keep this an hour. Hang out with y'all, leave y'all 4th of July, chill, drink, cuss out people. I'm about to go ahead and eat this grill food. Again, shout out to Roastmaster. I gave y'all some kind of ideas of me. Well, hold on. Urban Mass says, bro, that's the thing. No one is following them. Like, you can't force people. Like, okay, the truth is, I do have a user account on TikTok, and I am following people to kind of learn the platform and shit. Let me keep this all the way real. Hold on. Let's keep this all the way real. Number one, these women are bitching because they're not getting the followership that white women are getting. It's not as easy. It's the same thing with OnlyFans. They have a numerical advantage over you all. Sorry. Just like how you all are on social media more than black men, which is why it's easier for you all to grow. It's the same thing with them. They're stealing, they're not stealing shit because you can't patent a dance. And if you want to patent it, then don't do it on TikTok. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna take the same thing as like women like darkening their skin, white women tanning up to look more black. I'm not gonna put it at the same level. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what it is. So you can be upset, you can be mad, you can cry. Nobody cares. TikTok doesn't care. Nobody cares. You're not like y'all are being lazy. I'm not hating on people that make money on social media, but goddamn, that you ain't got a right to that. And you talk is equitable. Like the algorithm is not fucking you up. TikTok's algorithm is very pushed towards people that are bringing the views. That's how YouTube used to be. But you know, they always crying. Exactly. So let them cry. I mean, that's their default setting, which is why I did the video on the L's in the first place. But anyway, y'all, it's been great. Exactly. You're right. Oh, God, Turbattle, you're right. And that bring black men into that, too. But anyway, exactly. Anyway, they tried to do that. They actually tried to do that with Fortnite. They tried to do that with Fortnite, and it didn't work. So this, I'm not just saying that. They've tried it. Soldier Boy too. Anyway, y'all, it's been great. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. If you all have a dissenting opinion, definitely put it in the shit. Put it in the comments. I address pretty much all my comments. And you know, with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.